history. Not the one that we have lived, but the one we study. The history that is taught in Indian schools is not Indian history at all. It is India through the lens of Britain. Do you know that Imperial England used history as a tool for suppressing Indians? In 1868, Max Muller, the famous Indologist, wrote a letter to the Duke of Argyll. He was the then Secretary of State of India, and these words are from Muller's letter. I'm quoting, "India has been conquered once, but India must be conquered again, and the second conquest should be a conquest by education." The British custom-made Indian history to suit their purpose. We were taught that it was the invasion of Alexander that civilized us. The Shakas and the Kushans were good for the natives. The invasion of Muhammad bin Qasim, the Ghoris, the Tughlaqs, the Lodhis, the Mughals, they were all good for India. Akbar was great. What about Raja Man Singh? He was the Rajput commander of Akbar's armies. He helped Akbar the Great extend his empire. Why aren't we studying Raja Man Singh enough? Because he is an Indian and the British were not comfortable endorsing him. Now here is a question. Why are our history books still so selective? Our books mention Newton, but conveniently shrink passages on the 6th century mathematician Brahmagupta. Indians are not taught that it was one of their own who first developed numericals 1 to 9 and 0. Our history books have no mention of Vedic maths and how it inspired the world, or how the world learnt from the Hindu agricultural practices, how ancient India was the world's most favored trading nation, the influence of the Indian civilization on Southeast Asia. Also omitted from Indian history books is the Ahom dynasty. They ruled Assam for 600 years and even defeated the British. Why do our books gloss over the Cholas and the Pandyas? Our textbooks are still not free of British influence, and it is not just about Indian history. The world history we study also reeks of strong British bias. Take World War II, for example. Our books glorify the British and the American troops. What about the Indians who fought in the British Army? What Western historians also do not realize is that the turning point of the Second World War was the defeat of the Nazi army in Russia. The British can go ahead and hide this from their students, but why are we? India is still living in the shackles of the Raj. I will give you more examples. Under point number 3, and that is society. Our institutions are still living with a colonial hangover. The elected parliamentarians of independent India say aye and no when voting in the House.
Those in favor may say aye. Aye. Those against may say no.
Have you noticed the attire of the Darwans standing beside the Speaker of the Lok Sabha and the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha? Colonial. Judges in India are still referred to as my lord and your honor, lordship. And I don't even want to get started on how our judicial system with all the paperwork is so British. What about the use of sevadar or sahayaks in the Indian army? There has been so much hue and cry about it. The British pitted religions and ethnic groups against each other. Independent India continues to embrace that divide. We still follow the British education system, and we still do not give our children the freedom to innovate. They are enslaved by grades and test scores, the vices of the British education system. Freedom was not supposed to be a mere change of hands. How can we call ourselves independent if we do not have the freedom to make our choices? A woman still cannot rise up the ranks of the Indian army. Indian attire is not modern enough for so many. High tea and English breakfast are signs of having arrived. We wear gowns at graduation ceremonies. We shun dark skin. Our police forces still lathi charge. English remains a vehicle of social mobility. We love Shashi Tharoor for voluminous diction, but we question the need to be fluent in our vernacular. We know all about the British royal family, but we know nothing about the Satavahanas. The point I'm making is very simple. India has achieved a lot. No one can take away that from us. But many Indians still need to break free.